Chapter 10. The Bedrock. Like Minecraft Bedrock? The following morning, you find Asterion back to his duties, despite his panic attack the previous night. Any attempts at talking about it are met with tight-lipped, mournful silence. Okay, again. Again with the stutters and stuff. After breakfast, you remind him of the whole internet situation. Ah, yes, I remember now. You wish for me to take you to that place I told you about. Very well. Is the master ready? May we proceed? Yes, let's go. Asterion walks to the door, leading back to the stairway, but stops. You hear the faintest sound. Is he humming? Then the door clicks, and what you see outside is nothing like the inviting light from the stairway. A tunnel stretches ahead of you, sloping down. Its walls are raw, bare stone. Asterion walks in as if there was nothing out of the ordinary in what just happened. He gives you only a brief glance, inviting you to follow. As soon as you cross the doorway, the very air around you changes. A bitter dampness hits you like a truck. It pries your mouth open and burns its way into your lungs. The entire hotel so far had air so dry it could make your nose bleed, but this place is already covering your skin in a sheet of sweat and grime. Just being here makes you feel dirty. But Asterion keeps going, and you follow along a few feet behind. The light from the doorway behind you grows dimmer, and the farther you go, the louder are the Minotaur's hoofsteps. The two of you travel the labyrinthine set of twists and turns, and with each shift, the walls change further into polished rock. The air worsens to such an extent that you have to make an effort not to cough. I was going to say not to laugh. I think I'm going too fast. Regardless, your tongue is covered in a bitter oil that you can neither swallow nor spit out. The harsh sound of Asterion's hooves against stone, echoing all the way down the corridor, is both an invitation to proceed and an unnatural sound pushing you out of this place. That is until the Minotaur steps onto something brittle. You drag your feet along the floor and can feel the texture of the stone change. Its former smoothness has given way to a rougher, harsher surface that scrapes against your soles. Are we not wearing shoes? Or what is this? The claustrophobic corridors give way to a large chamber. It is darker than any room you've been in in the hotel thus far, save perhaps for a cold room, but light from some source that you can't quite determine still allows you to examine the chamber in full detail. The polished stone floor and walls, even outside the doorway, lead to the previous corridors and are covered in a thin layer of purple dust. The layers get thicker and thicker as your eyes follow them to the center of the room, where a large wall of crystalline rock in that same dark color cuts the room in half. To the right and left are two large wooden tables on which a number of people could have worked together. Their legs are also covered in purple dust and seem to be stuck to the floor by growths of crystal. Books, sketches, documents, and schematics are strewn out across the tables, and in an old vase, holding writing quills fashioned out of a peacock feathers, sits among the mess. Stone columns along the wall support the shadowed ceiling. They too are covered in dust, but the red and black paint that lies beneath is bright and fresh. The middle portion of the room's floor is peculiar. It seems to have been a shallow pool once, a foot deeper than the floor around it. But now it is dried and covered by thick outgrowths. a purple rock. I'm sorry, my lips are so chapped. Oh, I should have got chapstick. At the very center of the chamber is a wide basin consumed by the same rock. This is it. We call this place the bedrock. The stone you see is a form of obsidian. This place is as old as the labyrinth. It has also existed, or it has always existed. Really? Wow. You rub your hand on the crystal wall. The stone is brittle, and with a flick of your finger, you break off a shard. Oh, we just like that. I'm sorry, big guy. Just rubbing it between your fingertips turns into a coarse powder that sucks up the air's humidity. As you proceed to examine it, you feel that the stain it leaves on your hand is irregular. There are oily black spots and watery red blotches. My lord, that is dirty. Covered in centuries-old dust and grime. For your own good, I would advise against touching the obsidian. Oh, good thinking. You rub your hand on your shirt. Are we a child? Who rubs their hand on their shirt? Thank you. I would rather not see the master coming intact with impure substances. I would further recommend you change clothes once we return. The Minotaur takes steps towards you, standing between you and the wall of dark crystals. May we proceed? The basin at the center of the room, that's what we use for the radio. This is the equipment that broadcasts the radio signals. I suppose that is the best way to put it. A more appropriate description is that it is the realm's link to the outside world. You take a look into the basin. It is hard to know for sure since it is covered in dark stone, but it is also as if there's no bottom to it. This room is the closest place to the outside world. If we can say that, it operates by the different rules. Oh, I'm sorry. Millennia ago, it was a shrine to the god Hermes, patron of trade and messengers. There are other such locations in this realm dedicated to specific gods. The masters for a long time used it as a dock to send and receive goods from the outside world. Then, it became a post room when the hotel was established. If you can offer adequate instructions, it will find a way to transport goods back and forth. It could receive radio signals from the outside after we instructed it on how they work. If you can describe how the internet works, then it can be done. That will connect the realm to the whatever the internet is. Then, if it's anything like the radio, it can retransmit signals to your equipments. And how can we teach it to do that? What is the procedure? A contract. Yes, everything in this realm works by means of contracts, mainly those signed by the master. Your will, save a few exceptions, is sovereign. In a single contract, we can describe how the internet works, and then command the hotel through the basin to connect it. To connect to it. Hey, that's kind of like programming a computer. Pardon? It's how computers work. That's what I meant. They follow your instructions, nothing more. If you give a computer bad instructions, they won't work. You need to be very precise. Tell it step by step, in its own language, what it needs to do. Yes, I suppose your comparison is adequate. That indeed is how the hotel works. Which reminds me, I have yet to offer you the instruction on how to summon objects, don't I? Yes, I've been here for a few days already, and yep, I'd really like it if you could help me with that. I am frightfully sorry for my negligence, my lord. Had it not been for the exceptional circumstances under which we met, I would have taught you on your very first day as a master. Don't worry about that. Now tell me, how does it work? Very well. For starters, the labyrinth can generate most materials and substances found in nature. That includes animals and plant products. It can generate living beings as well, but for a number of reasons, that function is disabled. It's a long story we can discuss another time. The labyrinth can generate complex structures and manufactured objects. If you get instructed on how said thing can be built with raw materials. For clothing, we have quite the archive of instructions. You can trust the hotel to manufacture even complex garments with no issue. It cannot, however, fabricate currency. Neither will it produce metals like gold, silver in large quantities, and a few other substances which were used in commerce back when the realm was created. And if a large mass of goods produced by the labyrinth are exported to the outside world, it may become rebellious and refuse to obey orders for a while. The gods put these restrictions in place to stop mortals from using the labyrinth for profit. I see, but that's not effective restriction, is it? I can imagine a number of ways that can be sidestepped if I wanted to profit. We can't make gold or silver, sure, but what about precious gems? Those are valuable enough that we could export a small amount for a high profit. Ah, yes, good catch. That is what we used to do, in fact. We had a contract in the outside world who would receive, or a contact on the outside world who would receive our gems, sell them without leaving a trace, and send over the currency. That way, we could pay our employees, and we were not all that stingy, I might add. Interesting. So, this whole system is, shall we say, abusable. Yes, my lord. There is no doubt about that. After all, that is not what enabled us to build this establishment. The gods sentenced me to eternal damnation, but we found a way to make something good out of it. And we accomplished it by, shall we say, being quite creative and light-footed when interpreting the base rules they established. This is no different from how we managed to bring the radio to the hotel. I doubt Hermes ever imagined the uses we could come up with for this shrine. It is fortunate that the gods were, shall we say, quite sloppy with how they worded the rules for this realm. Ah, there is one more thing. The labyrinth can muster materials, but as I said, it needs the instructions on how to put them together. For things such as books, it can copy books which already exist here, but it cannot summon a book it does not know. With that said, may I teach my lord how the summoning is done? Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it. It is a simple affair. Ah, perhaps you shall find it silly, but believe me, for this task you need only, this song in particular. The Minotaur begins humming a slow and drawn-out melody. Asterian's humming at times quivers, lingers, stretches itself. The song itself is simple, easy to learn, and quite unlike what you've heard from modern musicians. Although he does not sing any lyrics, it would seem he is thinking of them and humming in unison. After repeating the song 2 more times, he stops. We need to call out to the labyrinth, inform it we are making a demand. We required an unequivocal gesture. Over centuries, the masters have employed a number of actions for this, such as snapping their fingers or tapping their feet. But my lord can imagine how problematic it is when they would unwittingly give commands to the hotel. So for centuries now, we've adopted this song as a gesture. Master, we need only hum it. With time, you will be able to do it without anyone noticing. If I am around, I can hum it for you as well. That works just the same. I hummed for you in your stead when you tried summoning clothes for me. Oh. And now, state what it is you desire. You repeat the song Asterion just hummed, and you think it's something simple. You summon You can summon to the test Labyrinth's abilities, perhaps a small gift for the Minotaur. Ooh, a neckerchief or a wristband. He probably got some huge wrists, though. Which gift should I give? I don't know if he'd look good in a neckerchief, but he reminds me of Fred from Scooby Doo. Just look at him. He's big like Fred. Uh, I hope he likes the neckerchief. You think back to the modern clothes you made for Asterion to wear. Crafting cloth. It seems it is a simple task for the labyrinth. Oh wait, I want to go back real quick. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. I like the neckerchief though. You think back to the modern clothes you made for Asterion to wear. Crafting cloth. It seems it is a simple task for the labyrinth. But unlike that time, where Asterion's apparently commanded by the labyrinth to perform your instructions in your stead, you do it yourself. You close your eyes and picture in your head a simple piece of cloth and hum the melody. You feel the familiar shifting of the lights in the room, but this time the tiled floor vibrates under your feet as well. The dark rocks around you crackle like charcoal clacking together as it's poured on the bonfire. Then you jolt at the sensation of the rocks shattering and pouring over you. But when you open your eyes, the wall's intact and unchanged. Perhaps because you're so deep in heart of the oh, perhaps because you're so deep in the heart of the labyrinth, within its lowest layer. Regardless, you look down. The labyrinth has produced a small square. My astigmatism is getting to me. Regardless, you look down. The labyrinth has produced a small square of red cotton cloth with white swirling pattern along the edges. The Minotaur approaches you and looks at it as well. Now that's a pattern I haven't seen in a while. You grab two opposite tips of the cloth, fold it diagonally, and take advantage of Asterion's proximity. He looks cute. You wrap the two tips around his neck and tie them at the back. The Minotaur winces, but doesn't move away, and just lets it happen. When you remove your hands and look over your handiwork, he's blushing. Let me see his flippin' blush. Thank you, Master. Does it suit me? Yes, it looks great. Alright, enough messing around. How about we get started on the internet thing? Where do we even start? Asterion excuses himself to go back to the tangled hallways and returns a few minutes later with a folder full of schematics. He lays them over the two sets of tables. Even with your experience, it takes you a minute to make sense of them. It seems like they are about receiving and broadcasting radio signals. Even if you can't pick up the details, it does seem to follow a sort of modular design. Every part of the process is compartmentalized with plenty of documentation lying around. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that perhaps some of their structure can be repurposed to bring internet to the hotel. For the next hour, you and Asterion try to crack the puzzle. He explains to you how a team decades ago made these schematics to translate a radio's functioning into the hotel's bedrock. And you, in turn, try to explain the best of your abilities how the internet works. It becomes apparent that no matter your previous expertise, there is so much about the nitty-gritty of the internet's workings that you cannot describe them from memory. This will take quite a bit of research, and if it's just you and Asterion, it would take days or weeks to accomplish it. Your concentration is broken when you hear the shudder of rock moving against itself just behind you. You turn around, but nothing has changed. It's still the same dark, humid room. Is something the matter? I could have sworn I heard something move from behind me. I'm afraid I heard nothing, my lord. Perhaps you're just getting tired. That may be the case, but would you mind if we took a little break? Yes, about that. Would Master be willing to hear about an impertinent suggestion from this servant? Sure, go on. You see, it is somewhat late in the morning, and new guests might arrive soon. If we both stay here to work on this task, then who will greet them in the lobby? The process of drafting the contract requires a great deal of specific knowledge, so I should stay here to do it. Could we perhaps recruit Coda to assist me while you man the reception? That sounds reasonable. I'm not sure he knows a lot about the internet, but he might be able to give you a hand. You can now assign guests to research and development team. Wait, are we playing Sims, but Greek Sims? Which team? Watch team building tutorial? We're going to watch the tutorial. At the start of every in-game day, you'll be given a chance to assign some of your guests to a team and perform tasks to improve the hotel. The R&D team will research technological projects to expand the hotel's capabilities or work out new contracts that modify the rules of the hotel. To assign a guest to a team in the guest manager screen, click/tap on their icon, 1, and select the appropriate option. Similarly, you can dismiss a guest already assigned to a team by clicking/tapping their icon in the team and selecting the dismiss option. We only got 3 people though. Every guest has a set of stats, tech, and contracts. The higher this stat is, the more a guest can contribute towards completing a project of each type. Wait, is this gonna be like Jurassic World or Dispatch? Every session, your team's stat total will be spent working towards a reward, such as completing a tech project or crafting a contract. Every reward has a stat requirement that must be met for you to obtain it. If your team can't reach that total, don't worry. Your progress towards obtaining a reward will carry on to future sessions. If we are going to be developing technological projects, I'm sure I can help you with that. Your tech expertise adds 2 extra passive points to tech. Oh, okay. You can see the tutorial at any time from the help menu. Oh, I guess I didn't need to save. Contract 2? Yeah, I already forgot the rules. Why is he unavailable? Is he drunk or is he doing something else? Dirty bird. Coda, Strand. Wait, do they bounce? Oh, they just move. Wait, you're good at tech? No way. Okay, so I just like drag you over here? No. Oh, I drag here. No, I don't. Guys, don't make fun of me. I don't pay attention to rules. Wait, no, I didn't want that. Okay. Contract and tech. Wait, hold up. What the heck is R? Wait, what does R&D mean? Okay. Uh, to explain that hotel's capabilities. Oh, okay. R&D. Man, just say D&D, man. Okay, so they are the tech team. Okay. So wait, why is Coda flipping here? Coda, you suck. Wait, no, not Coda. What's contract mean then? So I guess we need you. Creates contracts that change the rules of the hotel. I might be taking too long here. Alright, I hope this is enough. Yes. Very well, my lord. I shall realize your post that realize with your post haste. I shall summon Coda for this help. Your guest stats can be seen on the guest screen in the menu. You can inspect your current team members in the team screen as well. You can also inspect these in the ledger on the top right corner of the screen. Guys. I'm gonna make some terrible decisions. With that, you head out. It's just as you're leaving you hear it again. The sound of rock groaning against itself right behind you. Behind your grasp. Is this a horror novel? I didn't know. Or is it a thriller? Okay. It is just about time for new guests to arrive. Back at reception, you put on your best smile and wait. Things are slower today, during the morning. Only 3 new guests arrive, all singles. As the day progresses, however, you do notice some commotion as people move about. Ah, Coda's not here. I think Coda's my favorite. At lunchtime, you find only a few sandwiches sitting at the lounge's center. A number of guests are missing, Greta and her boyfriend, and the South American men. Why wasn't Bird Boy Okay. Okay, Bird Boy. I don't like voicing him. I feel... As you are having your lunch, you see what could soon become the usual sight at the hotel. Luke coming into the restaurant looking around for a moment. If there's no sight of Coda, heading straight to the center to grab food. Before he's made it out of the room and back towards the reception, Luke has already unwrapped one of the sandwich and split it in half with his talons. He opens his beak so wide, so much so that it looks wrong, and swallows the portion whole. Okay. Please don't is that a dirty reference or something? As much as you wish he and Coda would get along, you are somewhat happy to be spared the spectacle. You can see this becoming a somewhat sad routine. You prepared yourself for an uneventful afternoon, but when you return to the reception, something feels off. You hear subtle noise from behind the counter. You walk towards it and peek behind it, only to find... Why is he here? Excuse me, but... Who are you, and what do you think you're doing? Ismail. I don't want to voice you. Stop. Leave. Oh. Sorry. I was just, looking for a quiet place to me. My name is Ismail. And you chose to sit behind the reception counter? Wait, you have a whole hotel, but you decide to sit... Okay. Yes, it doesn't make sense, huh? It's more than that. I wanted to be myself for a while. And again, you chose to be by yourself behind the reception counter. Of all the places in the hotel, this is a location you choose? Yes. Isn't it silly? Please understand, I've been hitchhiking with my girlfriend for weeks and now she doesn't stop talking. And today she, got all excited about this thing she was helping with. That fat dragon convinced her to help out with something. When I stumbled into her during lunch, she was all hyped up. You don't understand what she's like. She'll keep going on, and even when I'm trying to sleep. Why would you try to marry her? Like, you probably knew what you were getting into. Please let me hide. She'll never look here. I'm just watching some anime. I won't get in your way. Anime? How are you doing that? We don't even have internet connection here. And I doubt you're getting any reception. Yeah. It's been driving me crazy. I can't browse shit. But I planned ahead. I have over 108 gigabytes of anime on my phone. Enough to last a whole trip. Jeez, do you even like Greta? I don't know how. Oh, I don't know how she talks so much. I can't even think. I thought I'd have some peace and quiet on this trip, but I was wrong. It was a mistake. I thought having a girlfriend would be fun, and my buddies from the Polytechnique would stop mocking me. But having a relationship is hard. And she keeps asking me what I think, and I don't know. There was this one time she asked if I wanted to have kids after she finishes her doctorate, and I just want to go home after my shift and chill, man. Uh, have you tried talking to her about this? But I don't want to talk. She can't she just be quiet? I work so hard, and the Polytechnique was so difficult. She should understand that I need to be alone all the time. Oh, that I need alone time. Man, I'll tell him to. You poor thing. No, that get your shit together. That's what he has to do. Get your shit together, dude. Being able to talk things out is an important adult skill. If it bothers you so much, then you have to do something about it. Talk with her, or at the very least, reflect a bit about your role in all this. I just don't want to think about that stuff right now. I'm on my vacation after all. I could use a distraction. It will make things clearer for me. Well, I'll let you do your thing then. Hey, do you have a moment to just have a chat? This dude, why? Um, I thought you wanted peace and quiet. Well, what I've been praying for is Greta going quiet for a minute or two. If it's another human being, that's okay. I haven't talked with anyone else for a week. I guess. What do you want to talk about? I don't know, just stuff. I guess. Got any favorite anime? About that. Anime is a sick abomination of our planet. I don't care much for anime. That shonen one with the tournament arc? That's so many. I love anime too. And I love too much anime to pick one. Oh, I guess I like it enough. I'm not like a geek nerd. Nah, I am a geek nerd. I'm watching Gachi Akuta. I was watching the shonen with the tournament arc at a friend's that was fucking amazing. Shit, I can't remember the name. Which one? Did it have a medieval weaponry that turns into guns? All of my internet friends won't stop talking about it, and now it's being adapted. What? I have no idea what that is. Medieval weaponry. being used into modern... Okay, no, I don't remember. Haven't gotten around to watching the anime yet. I'm reading the manga around the part where Ryan is training for... No, not that one. It's about martial arts and stuff. Is he talking about Dragon Ball? Wait, no, there's so many actually, yeah. Is it the one where the cute pink-haired sister character everyone's making fan art of? It's on a bunch of streaming services now. Maybe it's that one. That one looks new. You can tell this one is kinda old, like from the early aughts or something. Alright, so it's a martial arts shonen with a tournament arc that is a little old. Let's see. You spend 15 minutes with Ishmael, as he lists a myriad of shows that can match your description, with you shooting them down one by one. At one point you realize he might have gotten it right a while ago, but now it's too awkward to interrupt him. But it's been a while anyway. You've kept him company long enough. You decide to move on with your day. Let's go. I don't like that guy. After the brief episode, the afternoon is uneventful. A handful of more guests check in. At 7 p.m., you make your way to the lounge for dinner. Guests already have arrived and settled in to wait for their meals. Wait, do I gotta cook? Oh no. Coda's here. Asterion and the German lady are talking as they sit together at the table near the back. Before you can make your way over to talk to them, Coda approaches you. The dragon fidgets with his fingers and readjusts his hair, then grumbles under his breath before speaking. Ah, good evening, Mr. Lucian. I'm pleased to see you again. It has been quite the difficult day, to say the least. Please, do not get me wrong. I am more than happy than to help with the hotel as much as I can, but I must admit, technology is not my strong suit. In truth, there have been moments throughout the years I've been hesitant to get with the times. It got much worse the Second World War, since now it's been an endless barrage of advancements. I'm not so young anymore. I can't keep up with that kind of pace. But I made peace with the fact that I should at least try to stay up to date with the current trends. So considering I have a hard time operating a smartphone, I'm afraid I'm unable to help very much with the task at hand. I'm sorry. As such, Asterion and I were unable to make any progress ourselves. I thought you were the only option. However, please excuse me for tooting my own horn for a second. I had an idea that ended up helping more than I ever could. You see, I had the most, let us say, interesting conversation with Miss Greta yesterday, while I was helping her significant other act like an adult. As it turns out, she's an engineer, and when I invited her to inspect the basin, she was more than eager to help. Esther and I were both impressed with her contributions. I do believe we were closer to unraveling this problem. She went through the trouble of explaining everything, at a very quick pace, might I add, which got me nervous after a while. It would anyone. She went through the trouble of explaining everything, at a very quick pace, I add, which got on my nerves after a while, but I do feel like I managed to grasp some of it. Coda's tech stat went up by 1. They can increase? Okay. And speaking of getting on my nerves, I don't know what it was, but there was something off about that room in which we had to cram ourselves. Everything about it felt wrong. I suppose Mr. Asterion is used to it, and Greta seemed too involved with the project to mind, but something about that room left me on edge. It goes far as giving me heartburn. And between that and Miss Greta's enthusiasm, I'm afraid to say I had a very stressful afternoon. So I am sure you understand when I say that I yearn for some peace and quiet right now. I will be heading to the kitchen. There's something very soothing about preparing ramen. I do expect you to be there on time. You will not want to miss it. Oh. Asterion and Greta are right over there. Are right over there if you need them. You head towards Asterion and Greta. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What have you what have you here could you revolutionize? Well, everything. You can just make matter out of thin air? This breaks thermodynamics as we know it. We could solve the energy crisis and scarcity itself forever. This this place could change the future of our talent or of our planet. Where were you that in this hotel all this time? Why has no one put this place to good use? Miss Greta, please contain yourself. The hotel remained abandoned for decades. There was nothing I could do. Still, I have been. I mean, my family has pushed towards this for quite a while now, to put this realm to good use. But the previous owners didn't think to put in the effort. At most, they would approve a handful of book shipments every year. That is absurd. Just imagine how we could solve the scarcity of resources. Well, there was a good reason not to interfere often with the outside world. This has been the hotel's protocol for centuries now. A while where, before World War II, there was an incident back then the master's was Jean-Marie. He had a brother named called Clement. Clement spent years lobbying to have the supply raw materials to Master Jean-Marie's chagrin. Materials such as textiles, iron, quicklime. Oh, that is not good. Yes, you can imagine the sort of contraption Germany might have crafted with those materials. Well, I'm glad we played our small important role in avoiding that altogether. Yes, oh god. So you see, quite often masters were afraid how the hotel's capacity could be misused. With reason, and it is not just a simple one would imagine. The realm cannot export much. It will stop generating materials if too much mass leaves it. I see. So there's a good reason not to export it. But it can still be used for research. What issue would there be with that? I suppose you are correct. The hotel has housed a number of artists and scientists over the centuries, but as I said, the masters did not put much effort into it. It was just an occasional thing, or far too often a matter of nepotism to benefit the master's darlings. Oh, Lucian, sorry I didn't see you. Come sit with us. There is so much to talk about. Did Coda tell you about the day's finding? We asked him to. Yeah. He gave me a rough outline of what you accomplished. You helped quite a lot, didn't you? And here, I thought this would be a vacation for you. I did. I did help, but don't worry, your pretty little head. Every second was worth it. Working on this was incredible. Lucian, allow me to speak frankly. If you want to get rich, oh wait, you have much more than a gold mine here. If you want to get rich, yes, you can achieve it with this hotel. I don't want to get rich though. I'm aware that this place has a lot of potential, that's for sure. I'll make it into a home for those who are lost. I'll revolutionize it with science. Or I'll revolutionize science with it. I can really make a fortune here. A home is such a simple thing on paper. Food, bed, clothes, and a ceiling. Friends? But no matter how much humanity has advanced, we are still limited by resources and circumstances. Even today, children go without education, malnourished and ill. Even the most developed countries, people die from rare diseases that require prohibitively expensive medication. This world is full of inequities. With this hotel, we might be able to achieve an immense humanitarian project. You are thinking too small, Lucian. Listen, the world will always have these problems. Every day, a new poor, starved children is born, and it will never stop. The more you help, the more they'll ask for help. Meanwhile, if you use this place for research, you'll advance humanity itself. Well, I'm already brimming on the ideas how to exploit this place. Well, we rely on gigantic submarine cables to communicate across continents when we could just relay it over this hotel, for instance. There are so many substances for research, which are prohibitively expensive to acquire, and here you can just generate whatever you want. Please, Lucian, you must think about the progress of mankind. Asterion has already convinced me that exporting goods may not be the wisest decision, yes, but research allows science to harness this power. Do not give in to stifling platitudes about power, Lucian. Humanity has carved its way out of primal, brutal nature with their own wits alone. Asterion told me there are such things as gods, he did. The fools allowed this realm to exist, and yet did not make us use of it? I wouldn't call a god a fool, but sure. Were it up to the gods, we would still be throwing stones at wild oxen. It is humanity that created art, and with the aid of science allowed decent living standards. Please, you must not leave this realm unused. Look, look, I know what you're thinking. You were telling yourself that I am a German, correct? No, I'm not. My country did such terrible... Why am I getting so into this game? My country did such terrible things. I keep that in mind. The concentration camps, horrific atrocities, are such a common sight across history. What Germany did, but look at what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Think of Japan's Unit 731. Humanity is quite familiar with horror. We are. But it does not mean we should stop trying to achieve goodness. Power does not necessarily corrupt, Lucian. And you have power. Lots of it. Perhaps more than any single human in history ever had. Refusing to use it for good is not too far from using it for outright evil. Oh, I may have gone overboard there. I'm frightfully sorry. Asterion, I had the most pleasant and fascinating day of my life with you today. I cannot overstate the privilege of learning about your hotel. I am giddy to return tomorrow to finish our task. Ah, you have given me such drive, so stimulating. Oh, you think we can wrap this internet thing up tomorrow? Well, you know how the hotel works, through contracts. I estimate 5 contracts we need to iron out, but 5 tech schematics we need to finish to get the internet up and running, and we're at 4 and 3, respectively, right now. So we need 1 contract and 2 techs. So Coda and Asterion again. Okay. Well, that's perfectly doable. Wait, do we even need Coda? We don't really need Asterion next time. No, that's perfectly doable. It is now, if you excuse me, I believe my boy... Wait, did I go too far? Yeah. It is now. If you will excuse me, I believe my boyfriend may have spent the entire day in our room, and that won't do. I will bring him out to socialize with the others. Have a wonderful night, both of you. Yeah, you and me both, big guy. Master, what did Miss Greta mean by concentration camps? And what happened to the Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Oh, Asterion? How about we talk about that another time? It is a complicated subject. Sure, whatever you want, Master. I hope dinner's ready soon. And you and Asterion sit down, get comfortable, and have a short, pleasant conversation with some of the guests while you wait for your meal. Soon after, Koda emerges from the kitchen and begins serving ramen to the guests. You had a conversation with the dragon during the morning and asked him to be a little more lenient with the guests' kitchen manners. Koda seems to have received the message, but he still makes strained faces when walking by some of the guests. Greta returns shortly after leaving, dragging Ismail behind her. The pair sit close to the bar, making Koda's walk to and from the kitchen longer as he does his best to avoid them. After you informed Koda of Asterian's cutlery fiasco, he connected the dots that the chopsticks wouldn't do. Instead, he prepared onigiri for the Minotaur to eat with his hands, a much appreciated respite from the oppression of silverware. Can't we just... Oh wait, we can't do silver, right? Midway through his meal, Asterion stops and sighs. Is something the matter? Ah, it's just that Miss Greta is quite different, is she not? Today, I slipped up and mentioned that I used to play the lyre. Since those words left my mouth, she did not stop asking to hear me play it. Some people overhear it, and I told her to let it go. But I had also mentioned the lyre always made me relax. She kept saying to play it for the guests would help me come out of my shell and bloom. I didn't know how to tell her no. I suppose somewhere along the line, she assumed I agreed to it and started telling everyone I would do it. So, in 2 days or so, I'll perform a short concert for the guests. Are you sure you're okay with this? You don't sound too enthusiastic. I'll just have to get reacquainted with my lyre. It shouldn't be too hard. I played it for so long. After your meal, the two of you climb up the grand staircase and return to the master's quarters. Along the way, you have a small discussion about today's events. Asterion is rather unhappy about having to take people to the bedrock of the hotel, but acknowledges that it's a necessary evil to to give everyone else a better experience. Koda's presence down there was very comforting, despite him not being much help with the task at hand. He also talks about Greta. You both agree that despite being more than a grateful for her help, she is a very intense person. Asterion mentions that she'll be leaving in a couple days to continue her journey, but that still gives you plenty of time to complete your internet project. We do not need your help. In turn, you tell him about your run-in with the Ismail in the afternoon, but you have to take a break to explain what anime is. Oh. It turns into a rather long digression, but Assyrian is happy to hear more. You wonder whether you should show him some of your favorite shows once you get the Wi-Fi up and running. You've never seen it dark? I don't think so. What is that? Oh, couch. The two of you reach to the master's quarters, and after a bow, Asterion heads to his room. Exhausted after a long day, you do the same. Hopefully tomorrow you will solve the internet issue once and for all. Had he been left in the cold room for long enough, would his body have frozen and his last shred of his mind burned up? It had crossed his mind often. Was it possible to ever turn into stone? For 80 years he had thought, What if the next master was Clement's son? Or perhaps a long-lost and forgotten bastard of Jean Mary's? I knew Jean Mary was a bad person. What if he had the dark features of Joseph from 2,000 years ago? Or perhaps looked like that Athenian man yet further into his past? Would another Redeemer ever come? Asterion had built countless scenarios, crafted with an artisan's passion, made it all the more vivid by the darkness and silence that surrounded him. But that's all behind him. Even his bedroom is more claustrophobic than the cold room. Tonight, the Minotaur lays on his bed, so small for his frame. The sheets covering him make a labyrinth of valleys and peaks, snaking and bunching around his body. In his sleep, he curls his fingers, shifting the cloth into new spiral snakes. He wakes up. Like a jolt of lightning, his mind is thrown back into existence, and he's conscious before he is even aware of it. What a night. Oh, my bad. What a night it is, if he had just slept it at all. No placid lovemaking with the bed and pillow, existing here. What? Wait, what? Existing here in his bed of snakes, eyes wide open in discomfort of the most mundane variety. No placid lovemaking with the bed and pillow, existing here in this bed of snakes, eyes wide open is the discomfort of the most mundane variety. It is then that he says it out loud. Will I ever turn to stone? His mind, still in reverie, between him and his wakefulness, is assaulted by his momentous clarity. An idea pulls him out of his bed. For 80 years he had been kept apart from a certain friend, one which he dreaded to see once more. But now, it's so unclear, so simple. What had kept them apart for so long, when they were so close? Still in darkness, the Minotaur gets up and opens his drawer. Let's put that necktie on. No, it's not. Let's put his clothes on. What time is it, though? It looks nighttime. You don't have PJs? I guess you don't have to wear this, but is it morning? Man, I hate how I have to, like, physically dress him. That sucks. I wish he had the choice. Once he is dressed, he looks behind the rest of the garments and finds his lyre. Old friend, indeed, and his hand meets its surface like a firm handshake. The strings hum as the Minotaur pulls the whole thing from its coffin. While you live, shine. Together, they sneak out, two brothers giddy in their rebellion. The Minotaur doesn't dare raise his hooves for fear of waking up the master, or any of the guests. As he makes his way down, except for the stairs, he skates his hooves over this marble, making a soft whistling sound. From the skylight over the stairs, the moonlight rains down onto the Minotaur, where they witness to see his. Or from the skylight over the stairs, the moonlight rains down onto the Minotaur, where they witness to see it his descent, a blue veil covering him and the instrument cradled in his chest. There'd be no doubt of his royal lineage. He makes his way to the reception, then goes out. A dark sky greets him with only this scheist slash of dawn purple. The Minotaur sits on the stairs, outside. Without ceremony, plucks the strings. This is him playing? It's like two lovers kept apart for too long. Their touch does not yield the desired reaction. It brings no moan of gratitude, nor spine-tingling shiver. But as the Minotaur tunes both his lyre and his own ears, the embers beneath all the ash and coal resurface. A single note strikes true and makes his heart hum. But that's just the first string. He continues with the tuning. Do you think I'll ever turn the stone? His lyre lets out a hiccup, a note so sharp it hurts. I used to like the idea, I did, but this is good, is it not? The gods left us no choice. We are here forever, were this were this everlasting destiny, I would choose to exist. Overnight, a sweet dampness settled on the asphalt below, and now it creeps up to the Minotaur and sends shivers down his spine. Back in Nosnos, how many times had his bedroom door left unlocked overnight, allowing him to rise before the break of dawn to witness the palace coming to life? How many times had he been the very same thing in this hotel? One ought not to hold on too hard to the what? One ought to not hold on too hard. That is, you guys try to read that. One ought to not hold too hard to these precious moments. The more one grasps the time, the quicker it escapes. If Asterion had learned any lesson from his imprisonment, it was to let all pass by and hold on a single grain of sand, just enough to make pearl out of it, an everlasting memory. Nothing more is necessary. That scared me. Footsteps creeped up from behind. The Minotaur does not look back, but his ears flick in response. Well, if it ain't Angus. Greetings, Mr. Walker. Did you have a pleasant night? Pleasant? I would say a night can never be pleasant. Wait, can never be pleasant if there's no one in bed with me. But yeah, sure. If it was good enough sleep. The room is a bit dusty and smells off, but damn, the bed is nice. That music, though, just gold, pure gold. Thank you, kindly. Although, I gotta admit, I didn't take you for a harp player, kid. You look too rough for it, you know? Plus, harps are some real girly shit. It's not a harp, it's a lyre. Same shit, Angus. Asterion resumes playing his lyre. Mr. Walker, could I perhaps make a request? You do not have to be all proper with me, Angus. Just say what's on your mind. My name is Asterion, and I ask that you address me as such. What? You don't like having a pet name? A pet name? Why? I don't understand. Your treatment of me confuses me to no end, Mr. Walker. What do you mean by all this? What? You don't get it? I think you're hot. Simple as that. I'd let you fuck me all night long. Just go right to town on my ass. I'm a tough guy, you know. I can take whatever you dish out. So, no need to hold back. And let me tell you, I fully hope you're packing a log down there. Excuse me? You want me to, you? Yes. What's so weird about that? Jesus, by your reaction, I had to think you'd never met a gay man before. What, were you raised under a rock or something? Gay? Yeah, I like men. Both fucking men and getting this dude. You know, gay. Fuck, you really were raised under a rock. You're from Greece, right? What kind of life did you live there? So, is this normal nowadays? Being gay, I mean? You really don't know, huh? Yeah, it's sure as hell normal. And it's the best shit ever. Not everyone's gonna like it, sure, but men are amazing. You can all have sex. Wait, you can get all the sex you want. Being straight can never compare. Now being gay is normal. It's on TV. People talk about it on the streets. There's no such. Wait, there's so much gay porn. Okay, gay corn. I see. Well, are you? What? Gay? Duh. It does not matter what I am, Mr. Walker. I serve the hotel. And that gives me all the satisfaction I could ever wish for. Oh, so working is your kink, huh? Workaholic kind of guy. That's cool. Wanna know what my thing is? Asterion plucks his strings and gives a sideways glance to the griffin. So, is that a yes? Good. So, there's this thing that keeps me up. The stars. Look, at the sky, Aang. I mean Asterion. I've been all around. I know my constellations. I have a habit of stargazing, you see. And this night sky, it's nothing like I've never seen. None of the stars or constellations I'm used to are here. It's like we're on the same, or some on, wait, it's like we're on some other planet. What's up with that? If you don't mind me asking. Perhaps this land is indeed no ordinary place, as you may have already guessed. But I'm afraid I don't know what to tell you about the night sky. It's been quite a while since I was last outside, so I cannot for the life of me recall the constellations. I see. Well, do you know if anyone's mapped out the sky? It is possible, I suppose. We have had a number of guests over the years. A few were quite adventurous in exploring the valley. Perhaps they mapped out the sky then. But I'm fairly sure there are no official constellations. Now does that task interest you, Master Walker? Interest me? Kid, I have no idea what kind of weird magic is going on here. Maybe it's a terrible idea to stick around this place. But damn it, mapping out the whole damn new sky? It's gonna be like when I was a kid. But that'd take a long while, wouldn't it? I don't know if I'm staying here that long. I see. Are there matters outside which require your assistance? No, I guess not. I may look young, and I sure have a lot of spunk left in me, but I'm retired. Still, I have a home to go back to. A little cabin, so yeah. Don't know how long I'm staying. I understand. There must be people waiting for you back home. You know, Luke, you are much more pleasant to speak with than when you're letting your base urges control you. Why do you act like that? Do you have to be so lascivious all the time? Well, I do have to too. Nah, I don't. But it's fun. And you'd be surprised how often it gets me laid. Gets me in a whole lot of fights too, but I can hold my own. Oops. There's a thrill to it, you know? Just let it all out, make my wants known, and whatever happens, it's gonna be excited. Besides, it's not like it matters anyway. People will just end up forgetting me regardless, so might as well make an impression while I can. Even you, I'm sure. You'll forget me when I'm gone. No, I'll remember you well, Mr. Walker. Excuse me? I won't forget you. I have a very good memory, and someone as remarkable as you is not easily left behind. You're just saying that to get into me. It's nothing you can control, right? It's the charm. The charm doesn't work here, remember? I don't know how they work, so you'll have to pardon me, but here they are of no use. Perhaps that is something you should keep in mind. Whatever you say and do here will not be washed away. That's kinda hot. Why are you like this? I may hold my tongue often, perhaps far too often. I have a duty and reputation to uphold after all. But there is, but here, it is just you and me. Why are you like this? Can't you speak to me properly? Surely you can, but you choose not to. Perhaps you are used to being forgotten. You have no idea how to address others properly anymore. Or perhaps you just don't care about what others feel. Hey, I do care, okay? I'm just a fucking dumbass. But you believe me, I care. I'd give the clothes off my back for a stranger in need. Yeah, sure, the whole being forgotten thing messes me up, but I'm a useless. I'm just not a piece of shit. Do you wish to be remembered? Yeah, of course I fucking do. Then you are welcome to stay here. There is so much work to be done, and we are always in need of more hands. But, fuck, that dragon guy's an asshole. Is he? He seemed terse, but true, but that's a very rude way to put it, Mr. Walker. But tell me, does it matter? Assuming Mr. Koda is indeed unpleasant, are you saying you are any more enjoyable? Does he have to be? Shall we say pleasant? It is not enough to be good and kind, even if flawed. Damn, Mysterian. You got some bite to you. I took you for some county bumpkin or something like I used to be. I'll think about it. That's all I'll say. Uh-huh. There is yet another thing. Would the people in this hotel ever forget the man who mapped out the sky? Chapter 11. Okay, there we go. That is the end of today. I mean, thank you all for watching, reading, studying along. Yeah, I hope more of you show up. Or I'm just getting better. I'm trying. Or I'm not. This is just enjoyable. A hobby. Maybe I'll put more time into my hobby then. Probably I should do that. Okay. Bye, y'all.